Hello all and welcome to The Big Story, a daily news show where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Zhao coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a comment, like and share it with your friends, as well as hit the bell to be told whenever we go live. I will be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues to discuss what got you talking today. Our first story. The Institutes of Higher Learning, or IHLs in Singapore, that's tertiary education institutes like universities or polytechnics, are set to infuse a wider appreciation of design into their curriculum, my apologies, at a time where job scopes are changing and demand is rising for people with design skills. So with us to talk about this is journalist Jolene. Hello, Jolene.
Hello.
So could you explain to us what design means in this context?
Okay, so nowadays when you talk about design, it's not just about your traditional interior design or architecture anymore. Now it also means things like UI UX, so like user interface or user experience. So for example, if when you talk about healthcare in a hospital, if you're trying to like say streamline admin procedures or try and think of ways to make patients stay in the hospital better, that is one aspect of design thinking. Or if you are a tech company and you are developing a mobile app, so it's not just about how the app looks in terms of graphics and visuals, but it's also about the user experience. So how easy it is to learn how to use the app, how intuitive it is, and how user-friendly it is.
I see.
Yep. So it's a broader meaning, not just about aesthetics, but also about practicality and also function.
I see. So that all seems kind of abstract. So could you tell us a little bit more about what the IHLs are setting out to do? Like, are all faculties and courses going to have a design element introduced into the curriculum, whether or not they are sort of very related to human-computer, like law or like social sciences?
Okay, so generally there are two things that they're trying to achieve. So the first is for the existing design programs in the universities, so that would be like architecture or graphic design courses, for example. Right. They are trying to enhance those programs. But then the second thing, and I think also more importantly, is that even for the degree courses that are not traditionally related to design, like business or engineering, they're also trying to introduce some sense of some aspect of design thinking in those modules.
I see.
Yeah. So the idea is that while you don't need everyone to be a designer, everyone should be equipped with some sense of design thinking sensibilities.
I see.
Yeah. So I mean, law and social sciences, that could be a possibility as well.
Right. So this move towards a focus on design education in Singapore, right, also includes something called the School of X pilot program. Could we talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, so it's a new proposal, and it's supposed to be something like a learning platform that kind of simulates like real world challenges. So for example, Alexandra Hospital was one of the first to undertake this program, and under this program they ran a 3-day workshop last year for some of their staff, so like their nurses and the doctors from the care team, and also some other people like their community partners, and they were trying to come up with a model of care for patients that could be consolidated into a single team. So I think now the current practice can be quite complicated because it involves a different number of teams. So for example, one idea that they came up with during this workshop that they're exploring was an app that could consolidate the patient's information so that, I mean, with the patient's consent, so that it can be shared across different settings and different carers, like for example doctors. So if the patient goes for a medical appointment, right, in a clinic, and he meets different doctors, the doctors can access the app and they can view the patient's history and conditions.
So he no longer needs to repeat himself.
Yeah, that's the general idea. So some of these ideas, I think they're exploring it and can be revised further, and I think they could also explore implementing it in real life.
I see. Yeah. So you are touching on this a little bit, but if we zoom out a bit and speak more broadly, why is design so important?
Okay, so bearing in mind what we spoke earlier about the meaning of design, so it actually drives innovation because you have to constantly be thinking of ways to improve the product or even create new products that could add value to the markets. So this in turn drives economic growth for us. And a study of future hiring intentions was done recently, and it found that for every one designer that is hired in a creative agency, there will be 2 more that are sought after in companies that are not your traditional design companies.
Wow.
So this includes like banks, hospitals, yeah.
I see.
So yesterday I also spoke to Mark Wee, who is the Executive Director of Design Singapore Council, and he also shared a study by McKinsey last year on the value of design. So the gist of the study is that of the 300 companies that were studied, those with exceptionally strong design sensibilities,
Right.
they were the ones that were performing best in terms of like revenue.
Oh.
So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's about raising public awareness about how important or powerful design can be, and for the IHLs, I think it's also about helping their students to be prepared for a more complex employer landscape that they will be moving forward into.
I see. Well, thanks for sharing your insights with us, Jolene. And if you'd like to keep up with more education news, do head on to www.straitstimes.com.